and welcome to SA Sports Show. I'm Greg Anderson, my co-host Barry Curtin. Welcome to another edition. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, mate.
Barry, a great weekend last weekend in football. Of course, you would have been very, very happy with your Power Boys.
Yeah, they had a win.
Yeah, they had a good win. And the Crows probably ran out of time.
Well, they did run out of time.
They ran out of time.
Yeah, they ran out of time, that's right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was always going to be a tough game for Adelaide.
Always, yep.
In Brisbane.
Yeah.
They're in good touch, Brisbane. They're what are they, 6-3?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
well, you know,
not too many would have picked them in the top 4 at the moment.
No. But
yeah.
you know, do you know what gets me about that is that Brisbane were supposedly rebuilding over the last couple of years, as were Carlton. So who's winning the race here?
Oh, what about Carlton? I didn't even mention Carlton. That was just deplorable. It really was.
Shocking.
Where does the club go from there?
Where do they go? There's nowhere to go. They've had their number one picks. They've had their picks, and
they've done it for,
what's happening?
Well, it's interesting because Crow Bradley said that when you're playing against Carlton and when you're growing up and Carlton, and he said it's been 20 years since we haven't been basically on the bottom or off the bottom.
Exactly.
And that's like a couple that's a whole generation. They've only seen Carlton at the bottom, and yet so many of the viewers and like me and you have had a big part of our footy life have seen Carlton at the top. It's amazing.
That's right. You wouldn't when we were younger, when Carlton were always a powerhouse, but now you pencil them in as a win.
Really happy with the Powers game.
I was happy with their second half. I thought they were really good in the second half. You know, the conditions were really, really tough. They to play in that. That's tough footy, and a lot of people don't get it, do they? They can sit home in their lounge chair and say, look at the mistakes they're making, but gee whiz, you look at that, you get a crowd of 30,000 there, and people will knock that. They knock a crowd of 30,000. Hawthorn played GWS. Hawthorn was supposed to have a 70,000.
Yeah, 79,000, and what they had, that 14. That was just,
so, I mean, the full marks to the Port Adelaide people for turning up, in my opinion, because that's a tough day. That's a tough day to play and a tough day to support. But I was happy with their second half. It proves one thing, mate, with Port Adelaide, that their list is good.
They've still got 5 players to come in.
Exactly.
Big guns to come in. Not 2 captains to come back in. Brad...
Vice captain as well.
Brad Ebert, that's of course...
Hamish.
Of course,
Yeah.
That's 6.
Charlie Dixon. So there's a lot of blokes. They may get Jonas
Robbie,
and,
something I can't remember his name. Oh, that's right, his name's Robbie Gray.
Forgot about him as well. People forget about him.
So they've got he
could play this week.
They've got starters to come in. So they're going to be pretty powerful after the break.
Well, if they can get it... The club said they'd be happy with... 6 and 5. I believe they can go 7 and 4. I believe they can beat Hawthorn in Tasmania. They've got a good record against Hawthorn, and they'll beat the Saints in China.
And Crows a bit questionable. Let I suppose Brisbane get out to that lead though. That was
it's a worry.
We all just watch it on TV. You don't see the outskirts of. You only actually see what's on the box. And
they allow a lot of inside 50s.
That's what I thought. I thought they only really started to play well. Towards that really towards that end of that third quarter, and then they sort of got their run on very late. That's got to be a bit of a worry.
They just give away a lot of inside 50s. Against Port, they got away with it because Port had a bit of a makeshift sort of forward line, but Brisbane's forward line is very, very organised.
We're talking about 1 point. The difference between being third and just hanging in the top 8 is amazing, isn't it?
Well, that's where the AFL must be delighted with the way it goes, because really, when you look at the games, anybody beats anybody, don't they?
So true. We've got a fantastic show.
Where we ever.
But we just got to go over to Bridget for the latest in news.
Thanks, boys. I'm Bridget, back with another week of SA Sporting News. And Adelaide Adrenaline have landed themselves an exciting new signing with forward Ben Gavwal. The French-born joins Adrenaline from the New Zealand League, where he impressed fans with his scoring and playmaking skills. Adrenaline will be looking to claim their first win of the season against the Sydney Bears tomorrow in Adelaide. The Adelaide Thunderbirds, meanwhile, have announced that defender Beth Cobden has ruptured her ACL. She'll be unable to take part in the rest of the Super Suncorp season. Head coach Tanya Obst says Beth will be greatly missed in the Thunderbirds dress. Meanwhile, Macy Nankerville has been elevated to the squad to step up for wing defence. She performed well in her debut game against Collingwood last week. Adelaide return home to the Priceline Stadium to battle Queensland Firebirds Sunday afternoons. And the Adelaide Crows have suffered a heartbreaking loss to the Brisbane Lions, losing the game by a single point. Brad Crouch and Rory Sloane were once again pivotal for Adelaide throughout the middle. But former Crow Charlie Cameron dominated the forward line to help get the Lions ahead. The Crows face a tough match against the Eagles on Saturday, where they'll be looking to retain their spot in the 8. Port Adelaide, meanwhile, have found themselves back on the winners list with a much-needed win against the improved Gold Coast Suns. Billy Frampton was a force to be reckoned with, kicking 3 goals and proving why he deserves to keep his spot on the team. Usual suspects Travis Boak and Tom Rockcliffe were once again exceptional in wet conditions. The Power are in for a test tomorrow, though, when they take on the Hawks in Launceston. And big news coming out of Torrens and Adelaide Uni Boat Clubs as the 2019 International Rowing Regatta took place over the week. Gun rowers Jed Altswager and Will Smith won gold in the PR3 men's pair, stunning the crowd in Gavrit, Italy. Another fantastic result for our South Australian para-athletes. Well done to the solid SA crew. The Adelaide 36ers have finalised their roster for the upcoming NBL season, signing Obi K on a 2-year deal. The 24-year-old brings international experience to the side after competing in Europe. The forward caught the attention of coach Joey Wright after an impressive campaign in Spain. The 36ers will kick off their campaign in October. Now to baseball, and Adelaide Bites manager Chris Adamson has returned from a month-long stint mentoring the Texas Rangers rookies. The Bite hope to adopt similar technology to the US to develop homegrown talent and spring themselves into a playoff berth. The Bite narrowly missed postseason action last year. However, the young team is looking strong after retaining key imports Marcus Solbach and Mikey Reynolds. The Bite will embark on their campaign later this year. And the 2019 Ekiden Relays were held to kick off Athletics SA's first winter event. Many clubs and recreational groups came to North Adelaide as 6-person teams to compete full or half marathons. Congratulations to Adelaide Harriers Athletic Club for taking out first place in both events. And Glenelg Golf Club are continuing to look strong in the Simpson Cup after outplaying the Vines at Grange over the weekend. The reigning champions finished off round 2 once again at the top of the table. The Simpson Cup will continue over this weekend, while the women's top grade pennant, the Sanderson Cup, will begin this Sunday. That's all for this week. I'll see you soon.